Welcome, everyone, to the Primeval Cast, episode 14. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Louie. What's up, Louie?
Hello, everyone.
All right, I do apologize for my just waking up at 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. look. I had some issues with, we had some breaking news last night, and I did a video on the fly, and unfortunately, all these YouTube apps didn't work, so I had to re-upload it this morning. So I'm a little aggravated, and I had to do a little bit of a vlog. So here's the thing. I saw Primeval Season 3, Episode 1. Saw it about 3 times in the span of like 2 weeks. And I even saw it like about, I think it was last year, but never got to do a cast on it yet. You know, this is not going to be the usual format, you know, that I usually do. So, you know, Louie's going to have to help me out big time with this because
That's okay.
I usually like to have it like fresh and then like refresh it and watch it and then do it like a cast right after. But that we're not having that today. Notice from right off the bat that it's almost like a brand new show, right? It looked like, you know, Daddy Warbucks just gave like Primeval a couple more millions of dollars to play with. And immediately, Professor Carter's got a nice haircut due. Looks a lot different. Everybody looks a lot different. Everybody looks crisp. Abby looks like she got an extreme makeover. They got money for a lot of different things. It looks like it could have been a movie because, like, some of the stuff that they spent for, you know, the show is
alone, like
the locations, the museum.
That's a proper museum, and it wasn't a set. They filmed it, the British Museum, and that's like a very important museum. That's always open. Like they had to. It's like shows how at this stage of the show's history, like how successful it was and how popular. They actually gave them permission to film there.
Yeah.
I believe Doctor Who wanted to film there at one point, and they refused to let Doctor Who film there. So, but it kind of shows how big Primeval was.
But this, to me, seems like a turning point for the show where they're taking it more serious. They're promoting it. And this kind of episode is sort of like a starter, refresher, new fans coming in type of episode. Like, you could have aired this Season 3, Episode 1 in America to get people to start watching Primeval. If they didn't...
Sorry to interrupt. I think this was the episode where they started to play Primeval into America. Because I don't know if you noticed, they do a few American things in this episode.
Okay.
Like, it's a lot more American. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah,
be out of place on an American TV show. There's a few little.
Like, we get Professor Carter is still reeling from his best friend Stephen Hart's death, and our love. Yeah, he's blaming himself. Our lovely Jenny Lewis, who is this universe's Claudia Brown, I guess, which that's the running gag. Especially since she's doing the same hairstyle that she did as Claudia Brown.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of gone back.
It's kind of confusing the shit out of everybody. Because like last season, 1 minute she looked like Claudia Brown, then she looked like Jenny Lewis, then she looked like Claudia Brown, then Jenny Lewis. So like it boggles the mind, like what they were doing. But obviously, you know, she's Claudia Brown, even though she's not called Claudia Brown. And she's starting to act like her, too, a little bit. So, you know, I think Professor Carter is getting used to the idea, look, this is the universe. He's here to stay. Can't change things. And, you know, he confides in her. Then she even, you know, she broke up, of course, with her fiancé in the last finale in Season 2. So, start off here, I guess it's a little time has passed. And she's, you know, telling him to go out to dinner with her. What the hell? So that could be a start of a romance thing. Of course, the anomaly. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that, you know, he needs that, Professor Carter. Like, they need to be in a relationship. This is what, you know, it's evolved to that. You know, I can't get my way with Claudia Brown's back, but this is Claudia Brown. So,
but then if Claudia Brown does come back, and I'm not saying she does, I'm not saying if she does, this is just a theory.
Right. But then, you know, that would be a problem too. That'd be a bit awkward. Lewis would be gone.
Yeah, and then
Jenny Lewis would be gone. So So the thing is, let's just accept that she's never coming back, probably. And the anomaly detector goes off, and then they have to immediately get back into the swing of things. Now, of course, we know before that there must have been some adventures that were done because the funeral, the anomaly detector went off. So it's nice to know that they have some stuff where they could do some novelizations.
They actually have, actually. There's a book, it's called Extinction Event, and that sums up what happens at the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally would have liked to have seen like this pick up straight after the funeral, because I don't know, I just think it would be like more fitting. But
I think they thought of it as a marketing thing where it would have been depressing to do that.
And I think it's like you said, a fresh start, new series.
It's sort of like a soft reboot.
Yeah, like it's just like
for the show.
Let's get some new characters in. Let's start.
Here's some new characters. Here's your new soldier buddy that's going to protect you, like the guy was from season 1 that died.
Captain Becker. What do you think of Captain Becker?
I don't have opinion because he's just there.
Yeah,
he doesn't do anything
his
that
introduction
has any type of personality.
His introduction is literally
I don't
make a few jokes with Lester and then chuck him in as like he's always been there.
Yeah, I sort of saw him as it fall flat, his introduction. I mean, hopefully he picks up, but he's just there to be the security, which I would have thought after, Lester talked to him about Professor Cutter that there would be some type of conflict between the two. But Professor Cutter's like, you're going to, I'm going to follow your lead, and if I think you're wrong, then we're going to go my way. And he's just like going along with like, yes, sir, you're the boss.
It's a bit cardboard cut out. Like, this is one of the flaws with the episode for me. Like, I think Becca should have had a proper introduction like Sarah Page does. Like,
I think the problem with the writing was that they were trying to focus on these new creatures from this new era, from the new anomaly, about the whole concept that they teased about in season 1, that maybe these creatures are from the future or from whatever, that things don't make sense. That he talked about that's what intrigues him, is that, the stuff that doesn't make any sense. Louie, just continue for a minute.
Yes, cool. I think Captain Becker, personally, I think he should have had a proper 1-episode introduction. And I think this is maybe one of the problems of not just this episode, but the series in general. There's a lot of new characters that just don't get enough time to be introduced and properly like breathe. Like, you have one introduction after the other, or in this case you have 2 new characters. It's like you have Sarah and Becca, and it's like this episode is I think of it as Sarah's episode.
It's mostly Sarah. Sarah is her. This is her story, and again, she is a fresh, exciting character that immediately. Well, here's the thing. I just find it funny how the new characters they connect them to Connor like right away, rather than anybody else.
They have,
and I guess the only person you could connect to is Connor, because Stephen Hart's dead, and Professor Cutter she can't connect to him like that, and then Abby can't connect to her like that because she's like Abby's becoming Stephen Hart, kind of like the right-hand man of Cutter. We've noticed that in the other seasons where every time he calls Connor don't answer the damn phone because of Caroline. So he calls Abby to get Connor to move it. So she's now becoming the Stephen Hart weapons master,
like an animal tracker kind of person.
Yes.
But in this episode, to be fair, Sarah can't really interact with Cutter and Abby because they're separated.
But I think I find it that, and again, I'm glad that they didn't do everybody who interacts with Connor has a freaking romance, because let's just keep Abby and Connor together and just keep
like how
Sarah thing as a friendship.
Sarah's more of like a friend in that she's winding him up, even like she doesn't even know him, but she's like, there's a curse. And now
this creature,
the Pristi Campus.
Yeah, it's like Anubis or something, like the god of Anubis.
Like it's basically it's a real prehistoric creature. But
it's like an alligator that walks on its top legs, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But this crocodile thing, it went from the past anomaly into another anomaly, which took it into the Egyptian times, and the Egyptians worshipped it as a god. And then it's come from.
And this is what Cutter was talking about in season 1,
the myths and legends,
where like stuff that doesn't make sense and intrigues him. So I did like that rock affected the magnetic field of the
sun
anomaly.
cage, yeah, because the Egyptians worked out that the anomaly, it's something to do with magnets. So they trapped the anomaly in the cage. That's why it's called the sun cage. But
Yes.
Sarah was trying to work it out, and like this is really good because Sarah works out something which doesn't only help this mission, but it helps the whole future of the anomaly research, because now they know that they can actually contain these anomalies with magnets in some way, shape, or form, and they know that like the past people have experienced anomalies, but they've just interpreted it differently, like these
Right.
myths and legends, like dragons. And there's a really nice scene at the
Yeah.
end actually where Cutter's, it's like a big revelation, and Cutter's kind of, I've been looking at this all wrong. Like we need, and this is why Sarah's needed. They're like, we need you to be part of this team.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different role, and it takes the show in a different direction, because now you can look at past episodes and be like, oh, that creature looks a bit like a mermaid. Maybe that's what the mermaid was. Do you get what I mean?
Yes. And it also kind of ties in like the futuristic predators were going to different time periods because anomalies pop up all over the place. Which how many times could the reality change that they're not even aware of? You know,
it's very interesting. But this series in particular, like it's kind of got a theme of myths and legends, and
yeah, I from the start I like it, and I like the fact that they're trying to chase after this thing, and this thing's walking along this Egyptian. I guess it was the Thames. Was that where it was going?
Yeah, the River Thames. It was
the Thames. River Thames. I'm not familiar. Yeah, I know that's your famous thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big river goes big river that goes through London, and just to film there as well. That's quite big. That to shut streets down and stuff.
And isn't
really
it
nice
that they're chasing after this thing, and they have to, like, I guess Cutter has to leap out the window with the.
Yeah, there's a nice scene, like it's in a cafe, and Abby has to like.
He's like the Indiana Jones type. Like he just takes the girl or takes whatever. They just leap out the window, and he's okay, you know. And
Abby's like the budget's bigger because they wouldn't be able to do that last year.
Yeah,
there would no way they'd have been able to do that.
And I think the graphics are better. The creatures look more realistic. They look more like they fit on the screen compared to before. It was like, you know, oh, look, a creature, and then run, you know. So
yeah, it's like they base the creature around them.
I like that Connor tries to know what he's talking about, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's like blocking up the anomaly. Then he has to unblock the anomaly, and then he has to risk his life.
But there's a scene where Connor gets attacked, and it's pulling him through, and he's like grabbing hold of a light, and someone hits a light at the anomaly, and the anomaly, the magnetism, it locks.
Yes.
And that's another big revelation. Like, they now realize he doesn't know how he did it or why it did it, but something happened to the anomaly. Like, what's your theories on that? Like, how do you?
Well, I mean, again, it's they learn as they go along, and stuff that like presents itself, like the light, like they never had a light to just smash into the anomaly before. So accidents happen, but then as time goes on, I guess they're going to become experts where they're going to know how to contain the anomaly or create the anomaly or move the anomaly or even shut it down. I mean, I'm sure eventually they're going to figure out how to turn it off. But this whole thing with the anomalies, I honestly think that it's the cause of the future rather than the past. I think that something going on in the future for like time travel or things, they tried to create something, but then it was sort of like a domino effect where it made like micro explosions of anomalies everywhere. And then and the situation is that it rippled so much that it affected the very future that created them in the first place, where it altered that future. And I think that Helen's part of that, like trips to the future.
Of course, we have Helen in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Another thing, like you're introduced to a new character called Christine Johnson, and she's like a well, I wouldn't say friend of Lester's, but an acquaintance. They've got a bit of a rivalry.
She's kind of like his boss, or will be his boss, I guess.
Yeah, like they kind of know each other, and in real life, that was his wife, actually, Ben Miller's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I think like Helen, she has these clones of the cleaner guy, and they're on covert ops missions. Like they saw that this other soldier group was protecting this device, and they were fighting the futuristic predators, I guess, wherever they were. So Helen just swoops in and takes that thing. And it's funny how she just hops in anomalies, not afraid of where they're going to end up.
Yeah, she doesn't even like help the guys out. She just lets them, watches them die, gets what she needs.
But I kind of think that she can control the anomalies, because you don't just leap in an anomaly and not know where you're going to end up. I mean, where's going to end up in Antarctica?
It could be a cliff, like a cliff
or something. Right. So, I mean, I think she is causing the anomalies, or she is knowing what's going on with the anomalies, I think. So,
with that particular scene, you find out...
I'm starting to like her less and less, though, as the seasons go on, because...
She's becoming nasty.
Like, I'm trying to grasp how she goes from... You know, because you only have a rough sketch of who she is in the first episode of season 1. And then, as time goes on, it's just, to me, she's becoming more and more...
nasty.
Less predictable. And you think she loves this one. She thinks she loves it. She has some morals. Even protecting Claudia Brown in the first season. And now all of a sudden it's like total opposite. It's like the Dr. Doom type of the, like, just pure evil agenda nastiness. And again,
as well.
I mean, maybe it's probably planned, but I kind of like it her less and less. And I guess that's the idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to like her as a hero. You don't want to like her to help out the group. But she's kind of becoming almost a different character in a way each season.
Yeah, she does. You know? I think maybe it's because she spends more and more time in the anomalies. Like, we don't know how long she's been there now.
But you know what it is? I mean, the thing is, it's hard to tell. But from this point in time, on my first rodeo going into season 3, I'm sort of not liking her direction.
Yeah,
now, I don't know if that's. I don't think that's going to be a mistake in the future.
No, I think that's.
But I'm sort of.
At this point,
I think that they don't. I don't know if they know what they want her to be, the writers. But I don't like it already. Yeah, and I'm not liking these clone thing creature guys, and I want an explanation on that, because that's just nonsense. And again, I've seen enough of that. Yeah.
But it's like in this episode you find out Christine Johnson, Lester's like frenemy, she has got ulterior motives with this artifact. Yeah. And that's going to reoccur. That's kind of like the series arc.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun, but I don't know how you feel about that. Like, something.
Well, I mean, again, I'm gonna have to. Hopefully, I can enjoy the rest of the season like I do see episode 1. But we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure we're gonna have new characters show up too.
So how do you feel about this episode in general?
I liked it. I didn't have any problems with it. I liked the end that he rips up. No, that was actually at the funeral. But I'm glad that now they have new members. Like Sarah is part of the group.
I really like Sarah.
And Cutter is coming into his own and accepting things, and hopefully, things go well. I don't know if about season 2 is the whole Oliver leak. He's an asshole. I mean, it was just like, I'm not that you have to have a likable villain, but they kind of thrusted his position on us because he just appeared. That's the way reality is. He's the Claudia Brown title.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like him, But I like Lester Holt a lot.
Yeah. Lester's kind of
mammoth episode.
Yeah, Lester kind of redeemed himself because he was a bit unlikable, a bit grumpy.
Yeah, he's definitely likable now. Now I like him a lot.
It's like, even in this episode, they're like, who's Christine Johnson? He's like, Velociraptor, but better dressed.
I just want him to have more action like he did with the Mammoth episode, where you got to see him like running.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's like, overall, in this scene where Jenny's like, we found a girl, like, she's seen everything. He's like, oh, just kill her. Just shoot her. Can't we just kill her? And then she's like, what? And he's like, I'm joking. And then, like, when Sarah meets Lester and he's really rude to her, and she's like, is he always like rude? And Connor's like, that's actually him on a good day.
Yeah.
It's some funny.
But their place is growing. I mean, they're getting better at the anomalies and stuff. So, and you can see Connor. I mean, this wasn't really a Connor Abby.
No, it was
romance thing. It was like they were kind of separated. So, but it's still, I see that they're making it where Connor and Abby are going to be like the main thing of the show. I mean, they keep promoting. I see little seeds that they're planting.
Yeah, no, in the future, they're going to be very big parts of the show.
Yeah. Overall, great episode opener, season 3. I hope it continues. Anything else, Louie?
For me, this episode, like when I first watched it, I was so hyped for the show to return. And I when I watched it, I liked it, but I was a little bit disappointed. I don't know. I just think it's like a lot of change at once. Right. But once you get over that, and I've watched it like 1,000 times now, I just think it's a really nice introduction, just laid back, like nice creature, really nice setting of the museum.
I like the joke that Sarah played on Connor, making him think that he's cursed.
Yeah, that was funny. It's like a nice bonding moment for not only Connor and her, but Abby as well, because Abby's like laughing.
Yeah.
Like the only problem I have with this episode, and it's a little one, is Becca's introduction is kind of just like, here's a new.
That shit. Like I even when we talked about it.
Like
I don't like that at all. Like and I already voiced my opinion on that. So
yeah. They just add him in as like, oh, he's always been.
To me, and I could be wrong because I didn't see the episode yet, but to me, he's like one of the red shirts from Star Trek that dies, and he's just there for. I mean, if he's actually going to be a big cast member, then that was a pretty bad introduction to him.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to say just like I think you're going to be surprised.
All right, hopefully I like him. We'll see. All right, thank you, Louie.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye for now.